Hello and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's your girl, Milagros. And I really appreciate you taking out some of your time to spend some of your time with my time. Sure, let's go with that. Your time, my time, our time. So let's talk about happiness. Let's talk about happiness. Let's talk about it because it's a choice. It's a choice. And I know you hear it all the time. Happiness is a choice. And people tend to roll their eyes and like, if happiness was a choice, whatever. It's a choice. And you get to choose it or not. So don't be mad at other people because they choose it and they're happy. Like, you got to deal with that. That's your issue. I was at the supermarket on Sunday and I was smiling and I didn't even realize I was smiling. And this woman walked over that I knew that I went to high school with, and I hadn't seen her in like, I don't know, a lot of years. And she says, "Hey, Maria." And I say, "Hey, how's it going? How are you?" And she says, "Oh, I'm okay. How are you?" And I said, "I'm fantastic. I'm so wonderful." And she was like, rolls her eyes and does this whole thing. And I like, okay. And I turn back to my thing and I keep smiling. And she's like, "Why are you smiling?" And I'm like, I don't know. I really like turkey bacon. Like, life is good. I'm happy. I feel really good. And she goes, "Oh, why are you always so happy?" That was her question. And it was like out of disgust, right? "Oh, why are you always so happy?" And I said, because the sun came up this morning and I didn't have to do anything about that. And because I woke up and I took a breath of air, and because I can move, and because I have excess money, I'm buying turkey bacon for myself and my daughter, and because I have a daughter and she's amazing, and because life is so good, and because I have options in clothing, and because I took a shower and the water came from the faucet, and it was awesome, and I don't have to like leave my house to do that, and because of indoor plumbing, and because of chapstick, and because of toothpaste and toothbrushes, and because my daughter is incredible and she makes me laugh every morning, and because we did a silly dance this morning and it was hilarious, and maybe I was thinking about that, I'm not really sure, but I really do like turkey bacon, and I think I'm going to add this to my sandwich later, and because I have options when it comes to food, and I have options when it comes to clothing, and I have options when it comes, and she goes, "Oh, okay, I get it." And then she said, "Have a good day." And she turns her shopping cart around and stormed off down the aisle, and I'm like, "I will." And then I felt even better because I went through my little gratitude list than I did before I saw her. Here's the thing about happiness. You get to choose how you want to live. And the two best ways to enhance your happiness, seriously, is one, living with an attitude of gratitude. And for some of us, this takes practice. I wasn't always like this. I used to be a really angry person. I mean, Lord, I went to court-mandated anger management, right? Like, I was an angry person. But I finally got like in my own way, and I'm like, enough of this. Oh, it's so gross. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I decided that I needed to start doing the work to flip my life around. And the most important thing that I found and everything that I kept reading was gratitude, an attitude of appreciation, and then residing in the feeling of appreciation. And I have to tell you, it works. It works, but it only works when you work it, right? You have to practice, especially if you're used to being the sad and miserable person all the time. You have to do the work. If you're used to being the depressed person all the time, you have to do the work. And I was that person. If you're used to being the angry person all the time, you have to be willing to do the work. But when you put in the work, I promise you, it is so worth it. And not just to like see the list, but to feel it, like to feel the appreciation. Oh, it's so fantastic. And it just makes you like realize that happiness is not about the conditions of your life. It's not about the circumstances. It's about right now in this moment. You have so much to be grateful for, and we need to spend more time focused on our blessings than we do on our burdens. And then we realize that the burdens aren't really in fact burdens, because if everything was always so easy, you'd be bored out your damn mind, and you know it. You'd be bored out your mind. So it's not about the burden, because burdens are really opportunities, to use your gifts, your blessings, and so on. It's really about having an attitude of gratitude and then residing in that feeling of appreciation as much as possible. And none of us can do it 100% of the time. I know I definitely don't, but I am very intentional about trying to always get myself to that place and then to stay in that place. And the more that I do it, the faster I get there, then the more that I stay there, and then the more that I'm there. Like, that I'm there all the time. And the second thing that we have to do to increase our happiness is to take care of ourselves. You have to love on yourself and take care of yourself. It is so, so important because we cannot give what we do not have. So when you don't take the time to do the things that you enjoy doing, to fill up your cup, to spend time alone in prayer or meditation or exercising or yoga or going for a walk in the beautiful nature and seeing all the magnificent foliage that, the Lord provides, which is incredible in and of itself. If we don't take the time to do that for ourselves, we're not able to give. And then we start to resent the people around us who are taking. But again, we're choosing to give, they're accepting and taking, and then we get mad at them. We have to set some boundaries and say, no, self-love is self-care, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of myself so that I have more to give to everybody else. Because that's the truth. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. And I just pray that you choose it. And you can. You can choose it. You just have to start doing the work and practicing it. And when it feels really uncomfortable, do it more. And when somebody has something negative to say, shing, shing, I just block them. You are on your journey. You're doing your thing. I see you. And you need to be miserable right now or for the rest of your life. I don't know. And I don't care. You go be that. You go do that. I'm choosing to stay over here in this happy place. And here's something else that is maybe a little too deep and very interesting, but we do not repeat behaviors that don't have a payoff. We just don't as people. So if you find yourself being really miserable and depressed all the time, and you say, I don't want to be here anymore, but you keep going back there, you really should tap into why it is that you're going back there. Do people run around you and support you and take care of you? Does it make you feel loved when people take care of you in that way? So that's just something to think about, because we don't repeat behaviors that don't have a payoff. And for a lot of people, that's really hard to hear because they don't want to hear that their own misery is their own choice, but it is. And they don't want to hear that there's another option that they could shift to, but there is. Happiness is a choice. And so I hope that you choose it, because when we choose to live from that place of gratitude and appreciation, when we choose to take care of ourselves and to love on ourselves in that way, and then when we choose to reside in the feeling of happiness and take that with us wherever we go, that's super sparkly everything. And that's something that every single human deserves. We all deserve it. And can you imagine what the world would be like if people appreciated everything that they had in their lives rather than complain about what they didn't have? And if they saw things that didn't work out for them the way that they wanted it to as a favor and as a blessing, and if they took care of themselves and actually put themselves at the top of the list so that they can give from their overflow, imagine what this world would be like. And the reality is that it can happen, but it has to start with you. You have to want it for yourself. Do you want to be a happier person? Yes? Okay. Then you got to get to work. You got to get to the work of practicing gratitude and living in that feeling of appreciation. You have to get to the work of taking care of yourself and saying to everybody else, I'll get to you when I'm done, because when I'm better, wait till you see what you're going to get, right? And remembering that we get to reside there, because when we know who we are and whose we are, I'm just saying, the world would be magical. Well, my world is magical, but yours could be too, and everybody else's. So if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please go ahead and share it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get one of these every week in your mailbox. Get on over to my website. Learn more about signing up for my mailing list and all the freebies that come with that, and learn more about the Super Sparkly Everything Women's Empowerment Conference, which is coming up in a week and a half, and it's going to be amazing. So if you haven't already, get your tickets for that. All right, I love you. Have a great rest of your week and a fantastic Super Sparkly weekend. Peace.